What is good, everyone, and welcome back to the Nostalgia Plus Ultra podcast. This is episode 3. My name is Nostalgia. Joining me is the man, the myth, the legend, as told by Zoe. What's good, my guy?
What's up, bro?
Not much, man. I'm just chilling. As of recording this, I will actually, when this episode goes out, I'll be back home to Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be back in the cold to 40-degree weather and some. Yeah, just not really I'm looking forward to it, but not really looking forward to the weather.
It's Christmas weather.
Yeah, I guess the thing with Georgia is you get all 4 seasons, so I mean that's a plus. I mean, literally, I was standing outside for like our staff meeting at my job. Mm-hmm. We were standing outside, about to go to the restaurant. It's 80 degrees. I was like, it's 80 degrees in December. What are we doing right now?
That's what I'm saying, bro. I was sweaty yesterday.
The world is dying. What are we doing? It's 80 degrees in December, bro. I mean, South Florida's different, but I was just like, bro, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
That's crazy. As of recording this, Jump Fiesta launched, and they had a bunch of new stuff come out. I think I sent you some stuff. So thing I want to talk about off rip. Spy Family getting an anime adaptation. I think I sent you that trailer.
I had never even heard of the manga.
Yeah, no, okay, so Spy Family is super dope. It's a very, has a lot of action, some really good comedy elements, and then some romantic elements that make it really cool. Like, Spy Family is a really good manga to read. Also, Chainsaw Man didn't really get much of a promotional as far as saying exactly when they're going to drop their anime adaptation or whatever, but they did have some stuff for that. The manga is coming back in the summer of 2022, so that's a big plus. I know the first part, I guess the one that everybody likes is the first part that ends, I think it's about 90 plus chapters, around the 90 chapter mark, and so it's a really quick read, low key as far as like top shonen manga goes, pretty quick read. So they're gonna bring that back for the second part of it, and I'm excited to see where Denji's character goes from there. I know like a lot of the best and favorite characters from part 1 may or may not be there anymore. So I'm not gonna reveal any more information about that in case you want to pick that up. But what I really wanted to we get a guest appearance.
I'm recording.
We get a guest appearance from Pops today. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think my dad is decent. So.
Oh my gosh. Chainsaw Man, yes, Chainsaw Man. The manga's come out summer 2022, so that's a big plus. But the thing I really want to talk about is the fact that Bleach is making a return, and as a Bleach fan that has been down in the dumps because we've been getting shit on I can't tell you how long about you're never getting the other arc, you're never getting a new season, yada yada yada. We're getting new manga content with the one shots with Ichigo's kid, which is super dope.
Okay.
And we're getting the 1,000-Year Blood War arc getting animated. And man, the PV for that when I saw it is
it looks sick.
Oh man, it looks so good. Like, it's honestly, as far as Bleach goes, the Rukia retrieval arc or the Soul Society arc, where they like that beginning arc where they have to go save Rukia in the beginning. That arc is probably the best one. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc, in terms of just like action and storytelling, is pretty up there for me, at least. It has arguably one of the best fights in the whole series, and I'm not going to really go too much into it if you want to if anybody wants to read it. It has one of the best fights in the whole series. It has some of the best characters. Honestly, top 2 anime villain when he
Oh,
when he,
shit.
when my man comes on screen.
Okay.
Like Aizen already is like the pinnacle of anime villains, low key in my opinion. But when Yahweh or Yawatch, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. When he comes up in this arc, it's gonna be crazy. Like he's just a really like menacing dude. Like I got the same feeling with him that I did with Aizen, where like as soon as I saw them like show up, I was like, holy shit, some shit finna happen. And so like I'm really excited for that stuff.
Why do you think it took so long to make this arc?
I don't know. I think, well, the problem is people. I don't actually. You know what's funny? I really don't know. I feel like I should probably look that up to see why it took so long. But I know like
people say like, oh, the first part of Bleach is great and then it gets bad or something of the anime.
oh, because of the filler arcs. So you got to think about. But okay, so here's the thing. When it comes
I've never
to,
seen it, so explain.
Yeah. Okay, so when much like how Naruto and One Piece work too, as far as like because they're part of the big three as well. So
Yeah.
much how that works is if stories in heavy serialization and it's getting very popular, it's automatically going to get an anime adaptation. The thing is sometimes that certain shows get anime adaptations, and then right when they're about to end an arc, the manga and the anime will catch up with each other. So then you have to find.
Okay.
So then you have to find ways to fill that gap. So you have filler arcs, right?
Oh, we have a Full Metal Alchemist type deal.
Not even like Full Metal Alchemist.
The
they
first
just
version.
created- I guess the first version they made their own original story, so it wasn't a filler. It was like we're just gonna
end it.
Yeah, basically once we get to episode 12 and we caught up to the manga, we're just gonna create our own story and just keep it going that way. What Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, even Boruto too, like what they do.
Oh, they just wait.
Especially with weekly anime, not seasonal. With weekly anime.
Oh.
So yeah, it's a difference. So if weekly anime and seasonal anime are different. So with a show like with Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yeah.
If Jujutsu Kaisen decided to be weekly, we definitely would have gotten a filler arc in between probably the end of the Goodwill event and right before the
movie.
the death painting womb arc with like the two brothers. Yeah, we
Sure.
would have got
Yeah.
we would have got a filler arc between the two of those, or even like the 12 episodes. We probably actually no, yeah, it would have been between those two. We would have got a filler arc.
Wow.
Or it would have been the two cores with 24 episodes, and then more filler as they get into the Shibuya arc.
Sure.
But since it's seasonal, they're just gonna wait. So with One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, with those three, they were all weekly anime. So at some point in time, they all caught up with the manga, the source material. So when you get to that point, you have to fill time. So when Bleach's, I will say, compared to the other two, Bleach's filler is better than the other two. There are some Naruto fillers that are good. I mean, I do not like the One Piece filler, but that's just me. So that's kind of where it was. People just weren't really keen on the filler parts of Bleach, and then they omitted a lot of stuff when it came to the actual source material arcs. So they took a good bit of substance out of some of the more key arcs, like the Arrancar arc. They took some stuff out of it. I know they took a big chunk out of the later half of that Arrancar arc with some of the fights. Like there's some fights that go off screen. They off screen a lot of the people's fights, which kind of sucks. And then that's basically how it happened. Thing is, they ended on honestly Bleach's, I guess, worst arc.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I would like the beginning arc is always tough because it's the very beginning of the story, so it's obviously not going to be that good sometimes. But like what is the name of that arc? I can't remember the name, but it's when the Fullbring arc, when he gets like his powers back after having to give them up to save I think Odahime in the Arrancar arc. I think he had to give up his powers. Oh no, he had to give up his powers to beat Aizen. Yeah, okay, I'm tripping. He had to give up his powers to beat Aizen. So now in the Fullbring arc, he has to get his powers back, and that arc is not that good. And so it ended on a sour note for a lot of fans. And so That's probably why it took that long.
Sure.
But like the pickup from the Fullbring arc into this one though is crazy. Like I definitely want to say that the Soul Society arc and the 1,000 Year Blow arc are going to be the two best. Especially when, oh man, I'm so excited for that, for real.
Sick. I'm looking at the Jump Festa lineup.
Yeah.
Started off with Spy Family. They talk about Dragon Quest, which apparently is pretty good. I think I'm gonna get into it.
Like the anime?
Yeah, the Dai's Adventure.
Okay.
Dragon Ball Superhero looks cool.
It does look cool. They're going back to making Gohan the focal point of the story now, which
Yeah.
I think is good.
Interesting.
I think it's interesting. The animation style they're going with is definitely different than what they're used to. But I mean, I'll watch it. I mean,
Yeah, I think Akira Toriyama's designs look good in 3D, like Dragon Quest.
yeah, exactly. I think he's really good animator, really good good mangaka too. So we'll see how it works. I think them making Gohan the focal point of the story was probably what they needed to do,
Yeah.
like earlier. But Goku's the flagship character. You can't just
You
sit
can't
up. You
cut
can't
him off.
you can't just sit him on the back burner. But I think them making Gohan the main guy in this was going to be good. What else is on that list for the lineup? That's some other stuff.
Something that looks interesting to me because there's 4 different stages. On the red stage, there's 4 things they're announcing. The first one's Taisho Otome Fairy Tale. Then Demon Slave. It's like, okay, cool names. The 4th one is Haiku. The 3rd one, it just says Yu-Gi-Oh.
Really?
What are they have they announced that yet?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I
Is
think
it-
some of them are getting announced. Well, you know how Japan works. It's like right now is their nighttime.
Yeah,
So-
but is it like a new anime or manga or?
It probably would just be some more promotional stuff, like maybe a mobile game or something.
Oh, that would suck.
I know. It's just more promotional stuff. I think they can't really do that much more Yu-Gi-Oh anyway.
Oh my
They might
God.
make like another version or something. I don't know. Hopefully.
Tomorrow's super stage looks stacked. They're talking about Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Doctor Stone, My Hero, and One Piece.
Yeah.
All on
Some of
one
those are
stage.
going to be just some like small promotional stuff.
Sure.
I don't think anything's going to be big. I know Black Clover's probably going to get a PV for a movie. They're probably going to show another promotional trailer for Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So that movie is coming out, which I really want to see.
You don't think that they'll give us like an announcement on the 2nd season?
They probably will. I mean, I hope they do, because they're definitely going with the popularity of JJK. Like, there's no way they're not gonna put more. Like, not gonna follow up with the new season, especially because the Shibuya arc is probably. I know, like the manga's still going on, but the Shibuya arc right now is like one of the best arcs ever in shonen, to me at least.
Wow.
Just because it just has so much going on, and a lot of people are going to be super hyped for certain moments, and a lot of people are going to be really upset for a lot of moments. But
Really?
I think the overall storytelling in it and what happens, I think just so what happens, and then the implications for what comes next after the arc are like just what makes it really good, because like there's like real consequences, real weight, real stuff happens, and Akutami's not afraid to do some stuff that changes the trajectory of the story, because a lot of the stuff, with shonen, a lot of the stuff can get predictable with what's going to happen.
Sure.
And you see that in shonen, you see that in a lot of shonen, you see that in JJK too, with the trope of like the cross school event that gets taken over by the enemy. Like that happens in every shonen ever. It happens with Naruto, happens with JJK. We're just like, it's a bunch of different ones where like the two schools are going at it, and then all of a sudden the evil villain, that's a main part of the story. Exactly. But it has some stuff like that. But for the Shibuya arc, like you kind of look at it and see, oh wait, I don't know what's going to happen next. You can't really predict that. And a lot of stuff he does that he writes into the story is like, oh well, that's not usually what happens in shonen, or that's not usually what happens in the usual stories
Cool.
that we tell here. So I think it's gonna be really important. But I know, like, I don't know about what they're doing to do with One Piece. I know like I said, Black Clover is probably gonna get a movie.
Black Clover,
PB.
they're announcing. Oh yeah. Wait, I just saw. Oh, they're announcing something about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
What is this? The third One Piece Knowledge King final stage. Is that a game
No
show?
idea. No. No idea. No clue.
Summertime rendering. I'm gonna read off a few of these and see if you've like heard of them or read them.
Gotcha.
So today on the blue stage, there's Undead Unluck. That sounds
I
kinda
read
cool.
that. That, bro, Undead Unluck is so good.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It sounds cool. I'm going off of the
It's
names.
so cool. It's so
Uh,
cool.
What is it? New Prince Tennis.
Oh, New Prince of Tennis. I've watched the Prince of Tennis. It is literally just, I mean, obviously it's like tennis, but it definitely pushes the boundaries of what a sports anime is, because they really be pulling some shit out of their ass a lot of the time with some of this stuff. It's like a very over exaggerated version of tennis. Like it's not based in realism a lot of the time, but like there's no superpowers or anything, but it's not really based in realism. But the show is great. I think they're starting like the U17 arc, so I'm excited to see what they do with that.
U17 like.
Under 17s, yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh God, World's End Harem.
Oh my god, dude, that is the
I just saw Harem. Of course, is horny.
that. Okay, so full disclosure for anybody reading, and for my family that may be listening, do not judge me.
God.
I read that manga for research purposes. Okay, just to see. Okay, full disclosure, just to see what it was. What I got was essentially hentai. Actually, not even essentially. It literally is. The thing is, I don't know how they're gonna actually animate that, like for regular audiences. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Okay, I looked up pictures.
Dude, it's bad.
You did not. This is not research. There's enough research on the cover.
Look, I told you.
It's the
for
purple,
research
the
purposes
purple
only.
hair lady with the bangs and the
Yeah.
boobies and the thighs.
Look,
Oh my
I did
God,
not
what's
know.
this cover? It's two purple hair. They're the same, but they're naked. What is this?
Okay, full disclosure. I did not know what I was getting into when I read the first chapter. Okay, that's That's as far as I got.
Was this early in your manga reading career?
No. This, it's like when I heard this was coming out, people were like, "Oh my god, how are they going to animate this? This is really bad." And I was like, what is it? It can't be that bad. And then I literally look at the premise of it, and then I read the first chapter, and I'm like, okay, this is this is a lot. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
Even I know.
So you don't have to do.
Even
So your
I
browser
know
history.
That harem just means he's got to pick through. Okay, I see a picture of
Let
three
me-
girls. There's
let me-
redhead, blonde, and purple lady.
Okay, hold on. Let me just, to save your browser history, let me just explain to you what it is. Okay. Okay. So essentially, there is a life-threatening disease that is affecting a lot of the men
And it
in
might
the
end
world.
the world.
It just the men in the world. Okay.
Okay.
So, and slowly but surely, all men are dying off. But there are certain people that have a certain like disease, a second disease. It's like a legitimate, disease that actually happens to people. I forgot what it's called, but they go through an experimental treatment, which basically they just get put in cryostasis
Okay.
and wake up a bunch of years later where all the men have been wiped out. And so basically what these men are trying to do, what these men are brought back to do, is to repopulate the planet.
Every woman on any cover looks evilly horny.
Yeah, it's bad. Like I said, look, again, for anybody listening, for that. Whether it be friends of mine, people that don't know me, family members that are listening. I only read the first chapter, okay? And that's that's it. Just the first chapter.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No, I didn't finish it.
Can I? I'm gonna put on screen the cover I just saw.
I'm about to. Oh no. Oh, it's yeah. No, it's bad. I think, yeah, the chapter's decently long, so I think you see a lot of the characters that may show up in some of those volumes. But again, yeah, that's just it's bad. And the fact that they're making an anime out of that is crazy to me because they
Think
really
it's gonna
don't.
go as crazy.
They can't do it. They literally can't do anything. It's this like so I'll compare it to a different vulgar anime like Interspecies Reviewers. Okay, so Interspecies Reviewers is literally a bunch of guys, and it's drawn very cartoonily, and it's drawn like it's supposed to be like a hentai for real. Like it's supposed to be like that. It's basically a bunch of guys rating different brothels in different worlds.
What?
Yeah. So each brothel has different species of humans, different people. So it's like fairies, minotaurs,
my God.
gods. Why did we get on this subject?
No, but
we need to pivot.
Okay, half of this looks normal, but then there's an octopus.
Yeah. Okay. So I haven't read that, and I haven't really watched any of the episodes, but I know that
you know about it.
I know about it because of like the people I follow, the people I like that I see talk about it. Right. My degeneracy. I live my degeneracy vicariously through the people I follow on Twitter. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
I don't. I am not a degenerate. So those people that I follow on Twitter that may talk about that stuff, that's how I get this information from. None of this has to do with me. But
it's okay. I'm looking at pictures of this now. I know you would not read any of this.
never. But
Because wow, that's insane.
it's bad, right? But thing is, they use somewhat of metaphors for sex in their
Okay.
in the manga and in the anime. There's more metaphors for sex, and they have uncensored versions that get put other places.
Jesus Christ.
So the thing is, with Worlds and Harem, it's based in realism. Like these are real people. So there's no cartoonish thing about it. It's
no
literally,
cow lady.
yeah, it's like real people. Like the girl on the first volume, I think, like when you first read the first chapter, like that first girl you meet with the purple hair, she might be the only thing that's like off. I think she might be like an android or something.
Okay. I mean, it's
Yeah,
supposed
but-
to take place in the future.
Yeah, so like, okay, that's the whole thing with that. So I'm really concerned. Not concerned. Oh yeah, I'm concerned, but I'm really questioning like what they're gonna do with that as an anime because they really can't animate any of that stuff unless they make an uncensored version and put it somewhere else.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of shit that goes on in there, and it's just it's a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this because there's no English title.
Okay.
Getting back to the Jump Festa lineup.
Okay. Thank you. Let's pivot because I'm about to incriminate myself.
Aharen-san Wahaka Renai.
Huh?
Aharen-san Wahaka Renai.
Let me. What is the like the logo? What's like the picture on it?
No, there's no picture. This is literally just a lineup.
Oh. Well,
Wait, okay. You know what? Yeah, that's a better idea. Let me copy and paste it. I'm the Jamie of the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Jamie,
It's just
pull
one,
up the picture of the deer.
two guys, one computer.
What the? Okay, this looks like a slice of life. Brother and little sister in school, maybe? Romantic comedy manga gets TV anime next April.
I don't know. I haven't read that. Anything else?
Oh, they might be. Oh, yeah. Okay, a little too romantic for me. Moriarty,
the I word?
the Patriot.
I've watched that. It's pretty good. It's basically like a anime flip on Sherlock Holmes, where instead of it being from the perspective of Sherlock,
my-
it's from
It's from Moriarty.
It's from the perspective. Yeah, from the perspective of Moriarty.
Oh, that's
And
badass.
it's not. And he plays like an anti-hero type character, where he's not like saving people's lives, but he's not a good. He's not committing a lot of crimes, but he's not a good dude either. So
really
it's
cool.
it's pretty interesting how they do that dynamic. It's cool. So like I've watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of it, and it's pretty good. So I guess it got popular enough to make it a second season. So I might have to give that one a go again.
I'm interested with the whole Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. The first episode kind of is pretty cool. So I think it holds a lot of merit. So
What about Platinum End?
Platinum End, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Platinum End made that. You know how? Okay, so today we're supposed to be talking about like the worst anime we ever watched.
Sure.
Platinum End almost made that list.
Really?
I'll explain why, like when we get to that topic. But
Okay.
but it's I don't know. It's just like there's certain things wrong with it, and it definitely got hyped up to be something really good, and it just couldn't deliver on it.
Oh shit.
But okay, so getting into the topics, I think moving from Jump Fiesta, I know like we kind of wanted to talk about an anime we both finished recently, which is
Right before
Sunny
this
Boy.
podcast for me.
Exactly, right before we started filming, you finished the last episode of Sunny Boy, and man, I love this anime so much.
Is this going to be
It's
a
so good.
spoiler-free review, or are we going to talk about some spoilers?
I mean, we could talk about some because it came out in like that middle part of 2021
Sure.
the anime season, so it's been out for a while.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to.
When we get to talking about the story, we'll announce spoilers.
I'll put like a spoiler warning on the screen or something
Sure.
when I edit this. But yeah, man, I think it's a phenomenal anime. I think I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. But because there are certain things that I thought could have been a little bit better with it. But I mean, as an overall body of work, I thought it was great. Honestly,
I think it's one of the best animes of the year. It is incredibly like surreal and trippy, but like kind of nostalgic in a sense. Even though like you could never watch anime, you could never visit Japan like I haven't. But there's a sense of just like, you know, the whole point of the show, it's like they want to get back home, and it's like
yeah,
there's some scenes that are like weirdly like out of like a storybook with like when Yamabiko's telling his story, everything's
Yeah.
warm and colorful. Well, not colorful, but like muted summer tones, and it's like you're reading a book. It's like the weirdest feeling this show gives you, but I love it.
yeah. Like the animation style is great. It definitely is not
it's
afraid
like
to.
like a painting.
Like a painting, yeah. I think I said the other day too. I was like, it's one of my notes. Yeah, it's like kind of like a painting. It's a very artsy anime.
Yes.
And one thing I do like about it, so for those that haven't watched it, I'll give a little bit of a premise, so maybe I can entice you to watch it. Essentially, 36 students that recently just graduated from middle school, going on to high school, suddenly get transported to a different. See, now that I'm saying transported, it's gonna sound like an isekai. Fuck.
It's not.
It's not an
not.
isekai. Okay. Regardless of the context of what I'm saying, they get transported to a different world, and some of them end up with power. See, it sounds like a nice isekai. Okay, never mind. But someone gets transported, some of them have certain powers that some borderline on psychic, some borderline on elemental, or stuff like that. So it's basically what they're trying to do is get back to their world, their original world, to go back to high school, get back to their regular lives, because they don't want to be on this world anymore. And so it definitely, it's funny, when the first episode dropped and I was watching it, it definitely gave me. Did you ever read Lord of the Flies as a kid in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically the first vibe I got, where it's a bunch of adolescents get put on this place, they have no idea where they are, and now have to govern themselves. And I thought that was really cool. It definitely gave me a lot of like that kind of vibe to it at first, and then it became more of this existential, open-ended commentary on reality, life, like what you want to make out of your own life and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool.
God and stuff. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Okay,
And
this
it's only 12 episodes long.
Yeah, this is why it got an 8.5 for me, because they.
Spoilers?
Spoilers.
Okay.
Big spoilers. Well, actually, yeah, kind of slight spoilers.
Okay.
They don't explain anything about the world they live in, about how their powers manifested, all this stuff like that. How some stuff in the world works. They just go here, right? Mm-hmm. And I like that to an extent because there are certain things I felt like they should have expounded on more, like the fact that God appears very sparingly in the anime, but looks like a Yakuza boss who got his with like the Metal Gear Solid 5 arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And then how that one spoilers, how that one teacher showed up, and how because remember how they talked about it, students, the only people that got transported are students. So how did she show up on the island?
To expand on your first thing, I think they don't explain things on purpose because the kids also don't know.
True.
If the kids would have known, then Rajdhani wouldn't have had that story of, oh, this man ended up being the devil, and you know what story I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to expound just in case someone wants to watch, but that story is about someone important, and if that someone important knew things, then that story wouldn't have happened. He would have just been normal, and I think they kind of said it once in an episode. That's not her. That's not Misaki.
It's somebody else.
They say it's just like a creation
because remember when they make that first attempt to go back and she shows up and she's not in a student uniform singing the anthem, she's a teacher. So I was like, how does that work? But
also in that she's wearing clothes. When she gets there, she's only in a lab coat.
That's true.
I think that's to show maybe this might be digging too deep, but like when they make the first attempt, she's wearing all black, and then when she's there, she's wearing all white. I think that's to show like they're not the same. I guess
they're not the same versions. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, don't want to get too much deep into it because I still want people that have not seen it to actually watch it. So,
yes.
I gave it. I definitely gave it a 8.5 out of 10, just because there are certain things I felt like could have got explained, but I will say them leaving a lot of stuff open to interpretation or open to just us filling in the gaps by ourselves was really cool. Like how like you could create your own conclusion on how they hop between different worlds, how they travel, how the concept of God works, like how certain people have their powers. You could really just do that on your own. And then the reason why I thought it was so good, two things. One, the soundtrack is phenomenal. There's no OP. There's an ED song that happens, which is rolling credits.
Yeah.
But the sound, the music they play, like while people are going in between worlds, while they're doing regular things, while they have certain internal conflicts, all those songs they play during that, the OST is just phenomenal.
And it's funny you say that, and I agree, because the show is so quiet. Like, I think the first 2 episodes have no music whatsoever.
None.
And that creates a feeling of like emptiness and like kind of like, shit, what are we gonna do? Like,
right.
It like no other anime I've seen, and you've read more manga and seen more anime than I have, but no other anime I've seen has given me that sense of like, fuck, like what are the main characters gonna do?
Yeah, that kind of like dread.
Because
when they look out and they see nothing around them.
And I think that goes into, you know, them not explaining much. I think because even like when the show's getting to its final episodes, like the final 3 episodes, you still don't know what's gonna happen. You still don't know if like anything they're gonna do is gonna work. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what made the show really good. And then the second thing is the character development. Like every major character in there got the development. And one thing I thought that helped that is they clearly establish the kind of person those people are from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like, oh, how is this person? No, they're gonna tell you how this person is. Nagara is a loner, low key a piece of shit because like they
Yeah.
do it the way they show you. They don't just tell you the kind of person they are. They just kind of show you, which is really cool. Like when that first episode where Nagara walks up and sees that dead bird or that bird like kind of dying, and instead of like being a nice person, like picking it up and trying to get it to somewhere safe where it wouldn't get like further damaged, he just looks at it and walks off.
Yeah.
And I think so. By the end of it, there's another situation similar to that, and he, has that good development where he actually cares about the living creature he's about, like he walks up on.
Yeah.
And same thing with Mizuo, how she was so shut in and only really cared about her cats and really like brought them everywhere with her, and then now she's like gets to a point where now she can live by herself.
I love Mizuho. I think she's my favorite character because she ends up being like, she has like quirky quips and like witty quips. Like she's funny.
She's very funny.
I ended up liking her a lot. I'm not gonna say their name. But one of the stories of the main characters is weirdly tragic, but ends kind of happy.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
like something happens and then like they're smiling and they say like, oh, whatever happens. It'll happen in no time or something like that.
Yeah.
But I still have this feeling in my chest where I'm like, fuck, really?
It's like, damn, I really had to go out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's what I thought it was. Yeah, phenomenal show. It definitely. Next episode, we're going to talk about our, I guess, top 10 anime from the year, or just our favorite animes from the year.
Yes.
And Sunny Boy is definitely going to be on my list. I'm not going to tell you what place it comes in, but it's definitely on my list.
Sunny Boy is on my list as well.
Definitely on my list. One anime, real quick, that I wanted to kind of get into talking about is one that aired this season. That's going to have a second core going into the new 2022 season anime, and that is Ranking of Kings. Ranking of Kings has to be one of the best anime I've seen so far in this year of 2021. I'm excited for it in 2022, and it's just the animation style is great. The main character is adorable.
Prince Boji is I love him.
Prince Boji is the best. For those who are looking to kind of get into it as well, I'll kind of give you a slight premise. Basically, King Boji is this. Did they tell you how old he is in this story?
He is older than his brother. That's all I know.
But he looks like he's like 5, but he's definitely older than that. He looks so he's about.
I would say 8 to 10, maybe.
8 to 10, yeah. We'll go 8 to 10. So, but King Boji or Prince Boji is an 8 to 10-year-old who is tasked with being the king after his father comes ill. But the problem is there's 2 problems. One, he's not the best, he's not the strong-willed fighter that his father is. And 2, he's mute and deaf. So he can't talk and he can't hear, right? So it's really cute and it's really cool seeing how Prince Boji gets around and how all of the people that are around him speak in sign language and stuff too.
I was just
really
about
cool.
to say, I don't know if it's somewhat accurate because I don't know American
True.
Sign Language or even sign language in general. They probably do Japanese sign language, but
yeah,
it's really cool because I've only seen the first 4 episodes. I think I'm gonna watch episode 5 tonight. There's a little part where his sword trainer has a story where he learns and then he's happy to learn so he can finally speak to Prince Boji.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of wholesome moments, and then just some of the low key fights that they have are kind of cool.
Dude,
they're animated very well.
They're so quick and it's not shonen-esque. They're not crazy but they're animated so cool. I forgot his name. you know who I'm talking about, the fucking spear dude
Yes.
and
yes.
snake dude. When it starts and he's like running around him and it just stays on him, it's so cool.
Yeah, the way they animate the fight scenes are great, and one thing I do like about them, one, they're quick to the point, and they just kind of they serve their purpose. They don't drag, and second, there's a tactical element to the fights.
Yes.
And to slightly spoil one, I really want to talk about Boji fighting his brother.
Oh my
with the sparring
god,
match.
I was
Because-
so hype.
Because it was good, right? I think, and narratively, it works for a few reasons. So the first one is you kind of get a glimpse of who Boji is as a character and what his character is going to be like moving forward. Because obviously he knows he can't fight, but he has determination. He's like really wants to be this great king. So what he's going to do, he's like, okay, if my younger brother is probably a better fighter than me, I want to stand up to the challenge and see how well I do against him. And so then it serves the purpose too of establishing the people, the ops, essentially.
Oh my god.
It establishes the ops.
God, I fucking hated. Fucking Prince Boji was schmoovin'. He was
Exactly.
bro. He was spot dodging everything and was hitting him, but they were like, "That's how a coward fights." I was like, "Come on!"
See, that's what I'm saying. So we as the audience know Boji's winning the fight. We automatically know. But narratively, and I guess cultural wise, as far as the medieval setting goes, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
with kings, you block attacks, you take attacks head on, and you attack people with force. You're not dodging and weaving because it's seen as cowardly.
They even said they explained it. It was it looks like he's taunting him, playing with his
Exactly. It's like he's playing with his prey instead of just going and attacking.
It did make sense.
So cultural wise, and as far as world building, it makes sense. Narratively, it makes a whole lot of sense. And then it shows you who Boji is as a character. Like he's low key really smart.
He's not
understands
his
limits
as you think he would be.
Exactly. And he knows his limits too. He understands who he is as a person. He's like, okay, I can't go straight on against this person, but I can read his attacks. I can dodge and weave, and I can pick my spots and attack. Obviously, he's not going to land a killing blow.
Yeah.
Because he's a
whittle
weakling.
people down though.
Yeah, but nobody wants that in a king.
Yeah.
You're saying you compare him to his father or even Domus. By the way, fuck Domus. All my niggas hate Domus.
Oh my god.
Domus is the worst. Is the worst. Okay, but you see with his father and Domus, both of them are very powerful, aggressive fighters. Even his younger brother is a powerful, aggressive fighter.
He really charges in.
So you get those three people compared to Boji, and then people are gonna be like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Why does that work?
It was very small, but I appreciated the relationship shown between Boji and his dad. His dad wasn't like, my son is such a failure. No, he was like this big ass fucking dude, like literally big, like holds Boji's hand with 2 fingers.
Yeah.
But he's still like, I'm obsessed with you. I want to protect you. Like he actually still treated him like a son.
Exactly.
I
think that was cool.
It's not that trope. It's not even an anime trope. I would say it's just a trope in general, like Western trope too, where it's like, my son's such a failure. Like I just feel like that gets annoying. But it's cool to see how he had the king on his side.
Right. He had the king, I guess, supporting him as a father, as a legit father figure. There's also something that happens in the midway, I think episode 3, that I hope returns in the second core. I think I'm on episode 7 now, and that thing that I'm talking about hasn't shown up again. At least I don't think so. So I'm hoping that it has a bigger role to play come the second core when it happens in the next season for 2022 anime.
I have 2 things to talk about right now because I looked up Ranking of Kings. So supposedly this was a manga, but it looks like it's from the 70s or 80s.
I think it's a really old manga.
Yeah, this art style looks very old. So I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting that they decide to do it now. I think I'm gonna look into that.
See,
Secondly,
okay, yeah, go ahead. I'll come back to your first point after you finish.
I just thought this was funny. I saw this picture where it says top 10 anime of the week for the week of October 22nd to the 29th, which is when Ranking of Kings came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's ranked at number 3, which is pretty good. Number 1 is Miracle-chan, which I think I have to watch. You've told me about it.
Miracle Chan's pretty
But
good.
the second one is
yeah.
the second one is My Senpai is Annoying.
Okay. Look, I actually like that one. I actually like that.
I mean, it's number 2. It must be good, but it's just a funny name.
No, yeah, it's hilarious. It's like a romantic comedy anime about like office workers, and like how one, like the main character I think is the girl, and she has like a crush on the guy she works with, but
But he's
like
annoying?
he acts like, well, she's annoyed by him, but because she's like a very irritable person. But it's like one of those, stupid rom-com
That's
shows. I
really
think
funny.
it's funny though. It's good. Miracle Chan, one I think you should watch. I think this is, if I'm correct about this, I think it's the one where the girl can see demons and spirits.
Yeah. I've seen the thumbnail on Funimation.
Yeah, it's. I will say this. I know you're not a big into reading manga, but I would recommend reading Miracle Chan's manga over watching the anime
Really?
because it's a lot scarier.
Really?
Like because it's supposed to be a horror comedy, but the horror element in the anime as opposed to the horror element in the manga are two totally different things.
Oh.
So and the panels and the drawings of the actual demons that this girl Miracle comes across in the manga are way scarier than the ones she comes with. Like they're drawn way scarier than the ones they're animated in the show. So okay, real quick, I want to come back to the thing you said first with Ranking of
old
Kings
manga?
being yes, okay. There's a manga, I think I rave to you about it like almost every other day, which is 20th Century Boys and 21st Century Boys.
You have talked about it a lot.
So
You read it on the road trip we went to.
yeah,
for our friend's
exactly.
wedding.
Exactly. I read it on the road trip. I think I finished it a couple of days after I got back from the road trip. So if Ranking of Kings gets it, I really want 20th Century Boys to get some kind of adaptation because it's
How
so
old is it?
good. It came out like the 80s or 90s.
Really?
But or I think the 90s or
Wow.
I could be wrong about that. But in that kind of time era. So what's crazy also is the same guy that wrote 20th Century Boys wrote this other manga called Monster, and that got an anime adaptation that's really good.
Oh shit.
So now I'm just like, now it's kind of it's irking me because I really want this because people really got to understand how good 20th Century Boys is. I think I want to dedicate either a YouTube video or a podcast episode just about that manga because it's so good. But yeah, that's off my soapbox for now. I'll talk about that in more detail when I get the time to. But I kind of want to move to the topic that I really wanted to talk to you about today, which is one that I saw on Twitter, and I think you saw me tweet about it. This girl was talking about what's the worst anime you've ever watched,
Oh jeez.
right? And I have a couple that are on my list, and I know you had one that you texted me about
Yeah.
that I kind of want to hear your explanation. Why? What is
Okay.
what is the worst anime you ever watched and why?
So, I have 2 submissions. Only 2.
Okay.
One's a show and one's a movie.
Okay.
So, I haven't seen as much as you have. I'm kind of newly into my anime craze. But I don't want to just watch shonen. I want to I am more open. I want to see a bunch of stuff. I'm planning on starting Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai soon.
Okay.
Because I heard it's good. Even though it has a name like that. So I was just looking through Funimation, and there was a new one. It was called Combatants Will Be Dispatched.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that kind of sounds badass. And then I start the first episode, and there's like this whole speech where it's like, oh, we've conquered the Earth and this and that. We gotta conquer more planets and these two. It's a female voice, two female voices, and they're talking about we gotta conquer more planets. We gotta go to Mars. This and that.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And then you see who's talking, and it's kind of like, whatever, tropey, sexy girl villains.
Yeah.
Which I just, it's the first few minutes, so I'm like, okay, I could look past this. And then, like, the guy ends up being dopey and horny,
Okay.
but, like,
Okay.
way too much. Like, if you think Seven Deadly Sins is bad, this is bad because, like, they're doing it almost like they know, they're self-aware, but that doesn't make
Okay.
it better. And they're like,
Okay.
he literally tells his bosses, like, why are you wearing that? You can't cosplay as anime villain. And I'm like, oh geez, this is like, it's just corny writing. And then, like,
Okay.
he gets sent off with this android girl who looks young. She's pretty young, so he's not horny towards her. But, like, all the jokes they have together, it's like, oh, you don't know about this? And it's like, no, I'm a robot. And she's, like, very straight-laced, and it's like, it's just uninspired, and it's kind of
Okay.
annoying. And the writing, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I couldn't get past it. It was just
Okay.
boring.
Okay. Here's my thing. So, Combines Will Be Dispatched is supposed to be a comedy anime.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's the first thing. So, the thing is, so in that regard, I didn't think it was that bad. It's the thing. I watched it. I think I got, so there's, I got to maybe episode 10. Okay, I got 10 episodes in. And my thing is this. So, what's kind of concerning me now is the fact that I don't know if you'd like Konosuba if you don't like Combines Will Be Dispatched, because Konosuba is basically a comedy anime. It's a isekai that's very self-aware of itself, and it has a lot of the same tropes, but they make fun of those tropes in isekai. But I will say the comedic writing in Konosuba is exponentially better than the comedic writing in Combines Will Be Dispatched.
Okay, that's good because I'm not opposed to comedy animes. Dude, the first anime one of the first animes I ever saw, and I do genuinely like it, was The Devil's a Part-Timer, and I think
Okay.
that show's very funny.
Yeah.
But it also is kind of meta. It's with, like, the fake McDonald's and the fake KFC.
Yeah.
But I just think it's written better.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
The writing in Combines Will Be Dispatched is more so focused on more raunchy jokes.
Yeah, it kind of gets
More
old.
more like 13-year-old level school lunch table type jokes.
Big boobs and the guy's like, ooh.
Yeah. And it's funny, and then it overstays its welcome after a while.
Sure.
So, like, there are raunchy jokes in Konosuba that are really funny, but they kind of, the way they do them and the way they do other jokes in how they intertwine with them makes it a more funny experience. Combative Dispatch is just straight up raunchy jokes.
Yeah.
Like with the girl in the, I don't know if you got that far with the girl in the wheelchair. How
I
like she,
have
you didn't
not.
get that far. Okay, it's like really, they make it. They introduce her as like uber horny,
Oh,
but
jeez.
then they introduce her as uber horny. But one of the running jokes is that with that horniness, she actually has never had sex before.
Oh my god.
So that's a running joke in the show because the main character, the main character is like uber perverted too.
Yeah.
So he does some shit to her every 2 or 3 times throughout the episode, where she's like, will say some real raunchy shit, and then he'll respond with some real perverted shit, and then she'll be like, "Oh no, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, okay. After like the 5th time, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
Right. So the first 2 times were hilarious. The other umpteen times they do it, it's not funny anymore.
Sure.
So I'll agree with you on that one. So Combines Will Be Dispatched is what's the movie that you don't rock with?
Oh, this one kind of hurts. It lands as my worst because of how much it hurt.
How much it hurt?
Yes. So I have a few friends who they might not be into like all the anime that we are into, but they do like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
So I've seen like Porco Rosso with them, which I love. Porco Rosso is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah.
I recently just saw Castle in the Sky, which is also great.
Mm-hmm.
But one night they were like, "Oh, let's have a movie night," and we were looking through, and we see Tales of Earthsea, which
Okay.
is not by Hayao Miyazaki, it's by his son Goro Miyazaki.
Okay.
So we're sitting there and we're like, "Oh my God, Miyazaki! I know it's his son, but like it should be good." And the Tales of Earthsea is like kind of like a Lord of the Rings book. Like it's not a manga, it's a book.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and it starts off kind of cool. It's like there's a ship, and there's a storm, and there's a dragon, and you're like, whoa! And then for the next hour, nothing happens.
Really?
It is beautiful. Studio Ghibli. It looks like Studio Ghibli, and it like looks cool, and they're trying to build the world up, but like, dude, nothing happens. They're like trying to get to some place. I don't know any of the characters' names, and they get to this big city, and then someone gets chased, and then the main character splits off from the group that he was just with, and then now he's like on a farm, and he's doing chores for the farm lady because he can't pay her. Like,
Is that all the story? Is that all the story that happens?
they don't, dude, we didn't finish it.
Oh. How far did you get? It's like an hour in, that's it?
Dude, we got like almost an hour in, and then we were like, let's just watch Porco Rosso, which was infinitely better.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was like, dude, do I just like not, was I expecting too much? Do I just not get it? And then I looked something up. No, that was Goro Miyazaki's first film, and Hayao Miyazaki walked out of the theater
Of his own sons.
because he said, dude, that shit was trash.
Oh my god. How are you gonna walk out on your own son's movie premiere?
Dude,
That's wild.
Dude, it was
That's hilarious.
so boring. Like, it pained me to sit through it, but it also pained me to be like, oh my god, Studio Ghibli is not this legend that they can fail sometimes.
Right. Oh my god. That's
And
crazy.
dude, have you heard of I think it's The Witch in the Earwig?
I mean, I've seen like some stuff for it, but I've never watched it now.
Yeah, I've never watched it either because apparently it's not that good. That is also Goro Miyazaki.
Oh, so his son needs to just pack it up.
Maybe
Is what
he's
I'm
just
hearing.
not good.
I mean, okay, this is a theory that I've always had with, especially when it comes to sports, that the more popular your dad's name, the more popular the father's name is, the less likely the son's going to be that good. But if the father was like a mid-tier kind of name, the son's going to be like 10 times better.
Oh my god, dude, Michael Jordan and his sons,
Trash. His sons are garbage.
but Del Curry and Steph Curry.
Exactly.
Oh
Literally,
my god.
the only exception to the rule could potentially be LeBron James' son. LeBron James' son's pretty good. But stuff like Carlos Boozer has 2 twin sons that are nasty. They're really good.
Dude,
you got...
Dude, wait. Do you know I coach them at baseball?
You used to coach the Boozer twins?
Okay. Let me be clear because I didn't coach them. I worked at the place that they got coached at.
Okay.
So I don't know. You mentioned Carlos Boozer, and I was like, I know those fucking kids. They live here.
Yeah, they're really good at basketball. And then you got Dwayne Wade's son. Okay, Dwayne Wade's one of the best players of all time. Zaire Wade is a good player, but just is not going to be Dwayne Wade level. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So you get Miyazaki, you get the GOAT of Studio Ghibli, you get his son. His son's got to pack it up. His son's got to pack it up. His son's got to pack it up.
Damn, that's sad.
That's crazy, right? It's crazy how that works.
Okay. Now I've said my piece. What's yours?
Okay, so I have. Let's see. Look at my notes. There's two. So okay. There's one which is Promised Neverland season 2.
Okay.
And
I got halfway through it.
Promised Neverland season 2, and it's the only reason why I say it's bad. Well, people that watch anime only said it was bad, but the reason why I say it's bad is because I finished the manga, and they omit arguably the best arc in the story. Okay, obviously the escape from Gracefield is the main hook of the story, and it's probably it's the best. Well, that's the best arc because it literally sets up everything else, and it's like the flagship arc. The Goldie Pond arc, though, literally establishes a lot of things as far as the story, as far as Emma's MO moving forward for the rest of the story, Ray's MO moving for the rest of the story, and then as well as introducing you to how the demons operate as a society,
Sure.
right? But you don't get that in season 2 because they skip that part. They go straight to
They're in a forest.
Yeah, they go. Well, I mean, when they escape Gracefield, they get to a point where they're like in the forest trying to survive on their own. They meet, I think his name. I can't remember his name. Mujika and I think Danzo is his name. They meet Mujika.
Oh,
they meet her.
The two demons that help. Them.
Yes, they meet them. Like they stick true to that part, but then they decide to jump over they omit one of the more important two characters in the story. They omit this guy named Igor, who basically lives in one of the houses that Minerva set away for those kids. He lives there, and the Goldie Part arc is centered around not only Emma but him as well. Mm-hmm. So you omit a very important character. Then you go straight to meeting and finding Norman. Then you skip. Then in order to then getting to the part where you're just going to end the story, you skip over probably what would have been the best animated story beat ever with the 7 walls, which I'm not going to explain what they are because I really want people to go back and read Promised Neverland. But the part where Emma and Ray reach the 7 walls, like that whole story would have been one of the coolest things animated ever if they had done it. This show needed like 4 seasons. It needed 4 seasons.
Why do you think they skipped over a bunch of shit?
I have no clue. I mean, it could be a COVID thing where they really wanted to just go through, but they had the original writer on the story, so I don't understand why they just sped run through God knows how many chapters to get to that end point to a conclusion that's not really I guess the ending of Promised Neverland as a manga is kind of lackluster because the common trope with shonen is that every mangaka has to rush their ending and can't fully flesh out all their endings. Mm-hmm. That happens with every mangaka that's written shonen that's gone a long time. Is as soon as they go, hey, I have a story in mind of how I want to end it, the production company's like, Shonen Jump is like, no, you got to end it at this date. So now they have to like rush a bunch of stuff or change some stuff, retcon some things in order to fit this kind of story that ends up getting to the point where it can be finished. So a lot of times the endings aren't very good. So the ending to Promised Neverland is by no means perfect, but the ending to the anime and how they did that whole thing was really bad. Like it was worse. Like a lot of plot holes that don't make sense, a lot of characters that would normally do certain things in past events just change on a dime. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Sure.
So I think it's definitely one of the worst anime I've seen, and it's one of those things where it's a running joke that you just forget that the season ever happened.
Yeah, I saw the first season and loved it. I remember watching like episode 1 on Toonami once.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is insane. So when I got into my anime craze this year, I finished the first season, and the first season's great. Even though there's one kind of goofy detail I think is a little weird, but
Which one is it?
that Ray remembers inside his mom's womb.
Oh yeah, that was one of the ones I was like, okay, that's.
But
I don't like how they did that.
it's not enough to make me hate the show. It's just one detail. I think everything
Yeah.
else is well written, and I think it's great. And then season 2 starts off interesting because I've never read the manga, so it starts off interesting. They're like, oh, they're in the forest and they're getting chased. Whoa! And then they meet the two demons, and you're like, oh, where's this gonna go? And then it just kind of drops off. Like it's just like it gets kind of redundant at points.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah,
It's
bad.
It's that's another that's very disappointing because it's like you had such a high.
That's what it is.
came
You
out
got
the bench swinging for the fences and then
dude.
your
Dude.
second time at the plate you hit a dinky ground ball to first base. Like,
Bro, it's bad. It's bad. Okay, moving on. So I want to talk about. There's one that I wrote down that I think is like not really worth talking about that much. Cestus, which is like a gladiator type fighting anime. I watched like the first like 4 or 5 episodes. Depending on what it is, the only 2 shows that I've seen that do CGI fighting well are Kengan Ashura and Baki. Those are the only 2 shows that do CGI characters fighting well. This one is terrible.
really?
Yeah, like it's really bad. Like even the 2D animation is bad.
Really?
Like how they do it just like doesn't really flow very well.
This is
the
just
the dialogue sucks.
This is Twinkie Ryu.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm looking him up. He just looks like Ryu if Ryu was a twink.
Yeah, like I will say though that the fighting strategy and how they and the history behind gladiator fighting is done
interesting.
very well. It's done very well in the show.
Okay.
However, it's under layers and layers and layers and layers of BS. Like the dialogue just doesn't make any sense. The character movements and how they fight on screen just is kind of sucks. And yeah, it's just it also it's funny. I haven't read the manga for this, but apparently it jumps 100+ chapters from episode 1 to episode 5.
What?
From episode 1 to episode 5, it speed runs 100 chapters.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It speed runs 100 chapters. Like, and then from that point, then it stays on track. But you gotta get the 100
Yeah.
chapters between 1 and 5. It's gonna make the show seem. The pacing is wild. The pacing is just like, okay, it's all over the place.
Dude, I'm watching. Well, not watching. I'm looking at like different pictures. I hate the way people are designed. I do not like these character designs at all.
It's bad.
Cestus looks really weird. He's got like big ass ears.
Yeah.
What is this turban wearing guy?
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
He looks white, but they're trying to make him racially ambiguous.
Right.
Oh my god, this lady's just Tara Branford from Final Fantasy VI.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah,
do-
I didn't want to spend that much time on this. I think it's really bad. Okay, so I mentioned earlier about Platinum End, how I thought it almost made the cut for my worst anime I
Oh
watched.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so basically, what they did. So do you know about the hype going into the show being made?
No, I've never heard of it.
So okay, so basically it's from the creators of Death Note. Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
have.
After this, I have one hype, but go ahead.
Okay. So it's by the creators of Death Note, or at least like a writer on Death Note.
Oh,
And it has the same kind of premise-ish kind of thing as Mirai Nikki from the Future Diary,
okay.
with like, which is honestly one of the more edgier shows ever, which is like the concept of becoming another, I guess, version of God, and these people have to come down and fight on behalf of these people, and you know what I'm saying? It's very edgy stuff like that. So Mirai Nikki is very edgy. It's very kind of over the top with its gore and its fight scene and stuff like that. And so you take something like Platinum End, which has somewhat of a similar vibe to it. So you would think that the Death Note creators would take that story and make it more tactical, make it a little more, I guess, plot centric, and make sure like things flow and it's very interesting.
Like Death
It's
Note.
not. They don't exactly like. There's a lot of strategy behind Death Note and a lot of over the top strategy, mind
Sure.
you, but it's still strategy.
Yeah.
And it still tackles certain things a certain way.
They make it make sense.
They don't do a very good job with this one.
Wow.
And I think it's partly because of the characters that they have at their disposal, that they have. So I forgot the dude's name, so this is really bad. But the main character in Platinum End and Light Yagami are two totally different people.
Wow.
So like they're not like whereas Light Yagami had this kind of god complex where he wanted to be the end all be all when it comes to
Justice. and
right and wrong and justice.
Yeah.
This other guy just wants a peaceful life and find happiness. That's really all he
Mirai
wants.
Kakehashi.
Yeah, Mirai. So he just wants a happy life, normal life. So it's crazy because I think I've never seen an anime where the main character has all of these options at his disposal and actually has a rational way of thinking about things, but continues to make the worst decisions possible.
Oh, jeez.
Like it's one of those things where you look at this character and you're like, he's very reasonable. He makes a lot of sense. He has good ideas about things, and he really has a good outlook on how this is supposed to work, right? But when faced with certain decisions that would be an easy decision to make with that personality and outlook, he just makes the complete wrong one. And I'm just like, do you guys just need to add on to the story? Is that what you need? Is that why you want to have him make the worst decisions possible so you actually have a story? Because I can't remember some of them, but some of the decisions he has where he's just, it's like, okay, this would be the best option because this would happen and you can, say and solve this problem pretty quickly. And then he goes, no, I'm just going to do this over here. It's like, oh my God. It's like, why? Like, why even give him the option of, or why even give him the character arc of being a rational human being if you're going to do that?
Is this a hot take of yours, or is this widely known that it's like not that good?
What's funny is I watched it, and most of the people that I follow on Twitter were like, Platinum End's fire. Platinum End is a great, because it started out pretty good. It started out
Sure.
decently good. Platinum End's fire, and I was like, I don't know. It's just not sticking with me. By episode, I think like 10 or 11, it all went from Platinum End's heat to Platinum End's garbage.
Well, yeah, I asked because they're announcing something for Jump Festa, so
Yeah, it went from being really good to really garbage, really fast. So that's really the only thing. And I mean, I think people that like that kind of edgy kind of form of media, genre of anime may like it, and
Sure.
it may have a niche popularities to get that point where it's in like a Jump Fiesta type festivals type thing. So I don't discount that, but I'm saying it sucks.
Wow.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. But that's it. You got anything?
You just reminded me, fucking, isn't someone from Death Note working on Bubble?
Yes.
That
It's like, honestly, that production, that movie Bubble is like a dream team of creators. It's like you got the people with Death Note, you got the guy that does the Sawano, I think. You got the guy Sawano that does all the soundtracks for AOT.
Yeah, I'm reading. The production studio is WIT, who has worked on
Fire.
Attack on Titan and Vinland
Fire.
Saga. The director of the project is Tetsuro Araki, who worked on the first season of Attack on Titan and Death Note.
Fire.
And
Yeah, it's
the
got
rest
so
of
many
it, including music by Hiroyuki Sawano. Apologies.
Yep, he did AOT.
He worked on AOT as well as working on Promare, which Promare looks sick.
Promare is actually really
The
dope.
character designs are done by illustrator of Death Note, of Death Note manga, Takeshi Obata. Oh, I've heard of him. And
Yeah.
the screenplay is done by Puella Magi Madoka Magica writer Gen Urobuchi.
Okay, Madoka Magica actually hits.
I've heard of.
It's
I've heard
actually Madoka Magica is really dope. Actually, I like it.
the trailer of Bubble. I didn't even know it was a movie. I thought it was gonna be a show. But the trailer of Bubble looks really really cool.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see when that comes out. When I saw the trailer, I hope that's how it actually looks. You know how PVs
Same.
sometimes don't. PVs are like super high quality, but I hope that's how the movie actually looks, because if it does, oh man, it's gonna be a ride. And so I'm really excited to see that. But you got anything else?
Shit, not after that. Nope.
Cool. I think we're good. You got any music recs? I think I didn't bring it to the table this time.
I
At least I don't think so.
have a few. Let me go on my Apple.
Oh, actually, I do.
Okay, so you know how hype I was for this. I'm much of a fan of this underground group called Exo Society, which is made up of a few rappers I've learned from YouTubers like Super Mega and shit.
Yeah.
This rapper, his named Rav, R-A-V, dropped a song with Open Mike Eagle, and is produced by one of the producers from Atmosphere, who made God Loves Ugly, and the song's called Ass Backwards. And it's basically if a Stanley Kubrick sci-fi movie was a song.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe when I heard it too.
The production is so good.
Yeah, it's super smooth.
It's crazy. And then, like, you know, Rav is kind of depressing. He usually makes like depressing songs, but I don't know, this one I kind of just like vibe out to. I'm not really like feeling no feelings when I hear this song.
Yeah, you can really just kind of sit and let it rock out. I think when you sent it to me and I listened to it, I was like, dang, this is a really dope song. And then the visuals he puts with it when he releases like new music, like especially on Twitter,
Yeah.
are like really cool, because they're very heavily like anime influenced as well. You see a lot of retro anime references throughout the promotional video that he posts. So I think it's super dope.
And for an album, this one is very much a different vibe than what we've said before. This album's called It's All Smiles by No Rome. No Rome is signed to Dirty Hit, which is basically the 1975.
Okay.
I know Maddie and George from the 1975 help him do a lot of songs.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like the 1975, even though it is very much pop music.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe. So if anyone's a fan of the 1975, don't really expect that sound. It's a lot more electronic. It's a lot more ethereal, but in the sense of not really guitars, more just like beeps and 808s and synths and stuff like that. It's
Right.
It's an interest. I don't think it's not like the best album of the year, and I think some people, I would understand if people didn't like it, but I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's. I think I need to check that out. So
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that yet. I probably will check that out after we get done recording. Real quick, just to, I guess, provide something. I did have something. I guess as of recording this, The Alchemist and Boldy James released an album. It's an 8-track album called Super Tecmo Bow, which is super dope. It's I say like the combination, the duo of Alchemist and Boldy James, like they haven't really missed at all. Like all of their projects together have been really smooth. I think Alchemist just works well with so many different people.
Hell yeah.
And so adding him to like a real grimy type rapper like Boldy is just really good to see. And it makes it some great tracks, because the vibe you get from listening to a lot of Boldy James and Alchemist songs is kind of like watching New Jack City. Is the kind of the
Shit.
It's like watching New Jack City, watching like American Gangster. It's like that's how I feel when I listen to these albums by the two of them. And Super Tecmo Bow is no different. It's just super dope. It's really quick listen, so like 8 tracks, and most of the songs are relatively short. You don't have any super long ones, and there's not many features. I think there's only one feature, and the feature, I forgot the guy's name, but his feature isn't bad, but it's not great either. But it's I can't remember the name of the song either, but it's really good. So I would definitely give that like a, if I had to rate it, probably give it like a 9.5, because that guy's feature probably brings it down half a foot.
Jeez.
But yeah, that's it. You got anything else?
No, because I have a list on my phone that's for next episode,
Yep.
and
Yep,
some more
yep,
hype
so-
that is also for next episode.
Absolutely. So next episode is definitely going to be our favorites of the year for 2021. It'll probably come right before New Year's. That's probably when it's going to drop, right before New Year's. So, or maybe it might even be like when it comes out like that following week. So, be on the lookout for that. Again, follow us on Twitter at Nost, N-O-S-T plus Ultra, all one word. Or Nostalgia, plus Ultra on Twitter is the regular name. Zozo's Bizarre Adventure on Twitter is the regular name. At Andre Alonso 17. Follow us on Instagram at all one word, Nostalgia plus Ultra. Thank you guys for listening to us today. I appreciate everything. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Nostalgia plus Ultra as well. I really appreciate you guys tuning in with us today. Peace out.
Peace.